Alright, what's going on YouTube fam? It's your man Go Ahead John. I am accompanied with my wife Diamond Smith today. And in this video we got a little special home decor, home lifestyle video that we want to do. We were in the market to replace some of our countertop bar stools that we need to replace for wear and tear. So we found two bar stools that we like, and we ultimately in this video we're trying to make a decision as well as do a brief little mini review, first time mini review on both bar stools. These are the two bar stools that we narrowed it down to. Both bar stools are coming from the store At Home. That's where we got all of our bar stools from. On the left hand side we got the Lombardi, which features black leather and a dark walnut color around, with of course with a black base and black pole. And then the other one is the vintage mod bar stool, which features the gray polyester with the dark walnut color and a chromed out base and pole. We're going to go through brief runs down of pros and cons of what we think, and hopefully by the end of the video we can make a sound decision on which one we want to go with. Alright, we're going to start off with the Lombardi bar stool. Pros and cons. First thing, just want to jump back real quick and just do the cost of both chairs. The Lombardi retails for $149.99 at Home right now, and the vintage mod is $169.99. So just with those two in comparison, this one here, the Lombardi, wins because it's $20 cheaper. But that's a semi-pro. Take it how you want to look at it. Next thing, we want to take a look at how it actually looks. It is a black leather. You all know what black leather looks like. But taking it back, just taking a look at how our kitchen is set up. Of course, our kitchen is with the gray walls, white countertops, cabinets and things like that, stainless steel. And of course we have the wood floor that's pretty light, but ultimately it looked like it would kind of contrast in store. But now that we got it at home, in my opinion, it doesn't look too bad for just how it looks. Hey, what you think?
I agree. I honestly believe it brings contrast to the kitchen area and ties in with the dining room, with the dark leather, and then especially with the wood in the back. I like it. It's
right.
Definitely a strong contender.
And even when I had sent pictures to my mom, she also made a point just with the appliances as far as like the stove and the microwave. Of course, like with the stove, it's also black, and like the Keurig and things that we have. So there are a few things of black within the kitchen. So the black leather pops with that as well. I mean, blends in, just adds another layer to it. And just to give a quick look at the dinette, please excuse the mess, but that's what the dinette area looks like with the chair. So pro-wise, I think we both think thumbs up on it.
Yeah, thumbs up, definitely.
All right. Next is just comfort. How it feels. As far as comfort, I mean, it feels great. I mean, the leather, you sit in there and you almost kind of melt into the leather, both in the buttocks area and in the back area. Even with the sides, they kind of curl up around the hip area. It almost kind of like hugs you in there, and then even with the back, it just kind of hugs you into the seat. And it's very comfortable. You can sit here at the countertop. Of course, the chairs are adjustable, so you can drop it down and raise them up.
And I have to interrupt real quick. I think this is more comfortable than the other one, 100%.
Right. And then of course we got our footrest there if you want to use your footrest. As far as like back support, as you can see, I'm talking my back turn. But as you can see, back support, it comes up to like mid-back, like upper mid-back. So I can lean back in a little bit. It's not a recliner, so I'm not going to lean all the way back, but because it has this little bar that connects the base and the back to it, you do get a little bit of a lean in it. So I mean, like I said, comfort is A1. I really, it's a good chair. It feels good sitting here. I mean, most times when we're using it in everyday use, we're going to be having it pulled up to the countertop anyhow, eating and things like that. But anytime we have guests over and we're entertaining, we're facing this way, facing the TV, facing the living room. This is where it's at. All right, now on to the vintage mod. As I mentioned before, this one retails for $169.99 at Home. The pros for this one, aesthetic wise. Now, again, this chair is a lot more brighter in comparison to the other one because it does have that light gray polyester. initially, again, within the store, we figured that okay, it'll work perfect with our living room because we have like the same gray polyester sofa couch type of thing. But our couch and sofa is a little bit darker gray than this one, so they don't match. But just looking at it in the kitchen, from a kitchen perspective, it blends. Like initially, when we first put it in, well, at least when we first put it in, we thought it just instantly popped, instantly matched with the kitchen. You know, you got the stainless steel appliances, refrigerators, microwave, and things like that, and it just blended in a whole lot better than the black leather of the Lombardi. So that's another big pro for this one. It's just pretty, and then it also still has that dark walnut trim around the base of it. That also just kind of adds a little bit of contrast to the wood floor, and even the same color dark walnut we have for our dining room table. So that's a pro. And then of course the base and the pole is that chromed out reflective metal that just pops as well with the stainless steel.
And it is comfortable. I'm not saying it's not comfortable. Of course,
This
that one
aesthetics.
has.
This aesthetics.
Yeah, and that one has like armrests, so that's another plus.
So as far as comfort level is also very good. I mean, the biggest pro for the comfort, as my wife mentioned, is the armrest. Somewhere, I mean, it's perfect. Just kind of sitting your hands in your lap, the elbows sit perfectly on the armrest. It feels real good. Same with the footrest. You have a wider. This is actually, I think, a wider foot base than the other one.
Right.
It actually curves around. So that's also comfortable as well. Again, both chairs are adjustable up and down. So that works also good as well. Of course, sitting at the actual countertop, which is what they're for, you still got that same comfort. Obviously, if the chair is pulled up, the armrest may hit that, but this is about where we want to have it anyhow. Now we do have two small children, which I will mention. So obviously they're a little bit smaller than us, so they may have to raise the chair up a little bit. So we may have to take that into consideration as far as where the armrest is, if it was at the countertop or not. This fits well, and again, for entertainment purposes, if I want to turn and face the dining room or look into the living room, watching TV, hey, this is a nice fit. As far as back support, the back support on this one is a little bit lower in comparison to the other one. So it goes to, the other one was like mid upper back, this is more like mid lower back. So that's what that is. All right, now that we got the pros out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get with the cons. And definitely with the vintage mod, a con that I have as far as initially with the back support. The back support, I'm 5'10", 5'11", and this one goes to like my mid lower back, and it's comfortable, but in comparison to the Lombardi is more comfortable because it goes higher. It gives you way more upper back supports where you can lean back more into it. And as far as leaning back with the Lombardi, it actually has a bar, as I had mentioned, that comes and connects the back to the base. And because it has that a bit of a bar, it's metal, but because it has that little bit of a bar, you can lean back a little bit in that. Whereas with this one, with the shape of it, there is no leaning back at all in this chair. And what I have noticed is that the base, back up a little bit, but the base to the seat area is pretty much like a 90-degree angle. So when you're sitting in there, this is going to give you proper posture. Like you're going to be sitting straight up at a 90-degree angle. You're not going to be able to lean back any. That's, for me, is a little bit of a con because it has comfort, but it doesn't give you the control of the comfort that I would like. What about you?
And I ultimately think that the black one is more comfortable. This one is comfortable, but the black one, like you said, has more comfort for the back comparison, but it's not terrible.
Right. I mean, I think me and my wife, we both agree. Both chairs are definitely comfortable, 100%. But since we have a second option, the Lombardi is just more comfortable than this one here. Now for the con with the Lombardi chair, it's tough because we really like this chair and we really had to think about what would be a con for this chair. And the only thing that we could think of, the color, it would be that, that dark black that's contrasting with just the overall feel, overall look of the kitchen dinette area. Even though we do have a little bit of pop of black with some countertop appliances and the stove and things like that, and even over here there's no black in the dinette, but it is darker colors. That's really like the only con that we can think of the Lombardi chair.
And I agree. To me, I feel we may have to switch out the dining chairs to a black chair just to give it that more contrast look. I'm torn.
Right. I mean, it doesn't stick out, but just off initial looks, the vintage mod, which is the gray polyester, that instantly just flows better than the Lombardi. But that would be the only con that we can think of this particular chair versus the other one. So yeah. All right, so coming towards the end of the video, it's decision making time. Again, looking at them both side by side, kind of stationed at the countertop where they would initially be. Again, the vintage mod, which is the gray polyester and the chrome base, again, I think that just instantly flows better from the countertop towards the kitchen. I think it just pops more. It just works better more with it as opposed to the Lombardi. So that chair wins in that aspect. Kind of rotating it around just to kind of look. But even looking at it from the kitchen point of view over towards the dinette, I mean, I still think that the vintage mod works better, flows better, just looks kind of better with that gray on it. So right now the vintage mod is winning, but outside of that, which is another thing we didn't really discuss too much, but again, we have younger kids, and as far as obviously kids, they make mess with the food and things like that. So we also got to think about what's going to be easier to clean. I mean, is this polyester going to be easy to wipe out, mushed in rice off the chair, or is this leather going to be a little bit easier to to wipe up messes and things like that? And then, as I was mentioning earlier, now that we got the chair raised a little bit, as you can see, the armrest does hit the countertop. So adults, it's not bad because it's going to be lower, but for smaller people, children, they're going to have to offset themselves back a little bit and not be pushed so far up to the countertop because, that's going to hit and that's going to be damaged and so forth and so on there. So the armless one, Lombardi, wins in that retrospect. Down in the comment section, just tell me what your thoughts are as far as, what it looks like color-wise. But again, I don't think the Lombardi, which is this one here, I don't think it looks too bad. I don't think it contrasts too much with the kitchen. I don't think it stands out like, okay, everything looks one way and then now you got this black chair here. I think it does, flow pretty well with it. Not as good as the vintage mod, but still pretty good as well. And then of course black goes with everything. We know that. No matter what color, whatever, black always works. And definitely feel free to leave your comments down in the comment section to help us out. By the time I finally, get around to uploading this video, we probably would have made a decision, but one of these got to go back. Portia, what you thinking?
Okay, show them a little piece of the couch.
Okay, so turning it to the living room. That's what the living room looks like. A portion of the living room. So, if you were wondering what that polyester looks in contrast to the seat, that's what it is. Again, the bar stool is a lighter gray than the couch, but it is the same material. So, yeah, I guess from the bar stool to the living room, you got that. And we have an open concept, so your eyes will kind of look at that. But at the same time, these bar stools are for the kitchen. So for the kitchen, the main look of it, especially when you coming into our house, you come into our house through the living room. So when you walk, you walk in and you're looking straight in, you're going to be looking at the kitchen. So you're going to be looking at the bar stools first, in reference to the kitchen as opposed to the bar stools with the living room. All right, so decision time. After taking in all the consideration and asking our family and our friends what they think. Now, of course, we were the only ones who actually, sit and check it out for the feel. But just off of looks and everything that we described, I think we come to a decision. And between the Lombardi and the Vintage Mod, I think we were going to go with the Vintage Mod. I think the Vintage Mod is going to win out ultimately for the aesthetics. Of course, my wife's talking about something. She's going to make sure it's clean. It's just chromed out bar, even just from the few hours that we've had it set up. Oily feet, oily hands, you know what I'm saying? That's going to be there. And then in the kitchen, we're going to have some stains, but she said she's going to wipe it down, keep it clean. The Lombardi, I think you're going to have to go back to at home, or I may sneak you downstairs and do another little bar scene or something with you. But for now, the kitchen area, we are going to go with the Vintage Mod.